The hip-hop feud between Drake and Kendrick Lamar playing out in court. And this all kicked off like a year ago, and the rap battle continues.
Yeah, never ending. Drake's attorneys could soon get access to more evidence in his defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group over the hit song Not Like Us. And joining us with more insight on this story, ABC News contributors Mike Muse and Brian Buckmire. Good to see you both.
Hey.
Let's get right into it. So what's the next step, Brian, for Drake?
So when it comes to civil cases, we're typically seeing complaints, right? This person making allegations against another. Then you respond to that complaint asking for it to be dismissed. And UMG did do that in this case, but they asked for something also a little unique. They said, before we get into deposition, so the opportunity for attorneys to question the parties' representatives or even employees, or even turning over documents to see whether or not there were communications between Kendrick Lamar's team and that of UMG, any discussions about censoring certain words while at the Super Bowl, for example, they wanted to dismiss the case. But the judge said, no, you can go through those depositions, you can go through exchanging that information while we still determine whether or not this case goes forward. So what's next? People are going to start answering questions, and they're going to have to see where this case goes.
All right, Mike.
Yo.
What does this mean? You know, we like this music.
Oh, we love the music.
What does this mean for the kind of what this is going to look like for rap music in the industry?
Eva, you always have the hot takes for me. I think a couple of things. I thought what I enjoyed was UMG's attorney saying, look, it's not defamatory. It is what they call rhetorical wordplay. And what they're saying is that this is protected speech. This is First Amendment. And that has been a conversation a lot lately in the political realm. Protected speech, First Amendment versus are you offended by the content of the speech? You may be offended by the content of the speech, but that doesn't mean you're not entitled to having the speech.
And rap battle has been around for, since the beginning of hip hop.
It has. And so that is exactly what you're saying, DeMarco. For my concern is if this case isn't dismissed and then if this case goes forward and there's a ruling and if there's a precedent that is being set, does that have a chilling effect on the genre of the music altogether, right? Does it impact how rappers go at each other and they battle? But even DeMarco, it's no different than the other pop genres. There's something about when you're on top, right? When you're #1 in the charts, whether you're in pop, whether you're in rock, whether you're in rap, there's a certain bravado with it. Even Charlie XCX, she has the song in Von Dutch, and she says, it's okay, I know you're jealous of me, right? I know you hate me, right? Because I'm on top. It's the bravado, right? And so they all do that. So what happens to the chilling of that speech if this case was to go forward and if Drake was to win?
I mean, all these artists write about stuff. Like, we just had Miley Cyrus's song on Flowers. Think about all the gossip around that. Like,
yeah. It's music. It's bravado.
It is music. And Brian, you touched on this. Universal wants the case dismissed. How likely is that?
So at this point, it's still a possibility. There's a hearing on June 30th where both sides will be able to present information and evidence that suggests this is why the case should be dismissed. As Mike pointed out, one of the UMG's arguments is that it's called rhetorical hyperbole. And under that, the idea is that the statement is so ridiculous that no one would believe it to be true. It's like I said, Dr. Sun has like cookies hidden throughout his studio and he loves like sugar. Like, it's such a ridiculous thing. Why would you believe it to be true? I can't make fun of you anymore. My mom already came for me that last time. So I gotta go for someone else. But Drake is arguing that no, this isn't hyperbole. He said certified lover boy, certified pedophile. And all the other statements that he's making, he's saying that he's definitely saying that I am this thing. This is not hyperbole. It's not First Amendment speech. And that will be decided, I think, after June 30th when the hearing occurs. So could it be dismissed? Absolutely, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Doesn't help to have a stadium saying A minor in unison either.
That's a little bit more, I think, the hyperbole. That, I think, could work, but the calling someone a pedophile, that might be dangerous.
But again, that's content though, right? Like they are saying A minor, you may not like it, right? But that's First Amendment, right? That's protected speech, right? They don't like it. The thing about this is, I think where Drake is going wrong is, I actually forgot about this case. A lot of us forgot about this case, right? Only until you bring up the case, you forget about it. And I've always said, make it about the music. Drake just came back with an album that he dropped in February, and he's charting right now with a song called Nokia, which everyone is loving. I was bopping to it this morning. He also had another song, Give Me a Hug. Come back with the music. Let the music be the indicator and the moderator of this beef. Not in court. I literally forgot about this case until we're talking about it, right? So let the music speak for itself. So I hope Drake begins to realize that, or else he's going to have continuous damage to his brand as a result of that.
Mike is like, let it go. You're here for the music, right?
Yeah, I forgot about the case. Yeah.